Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining me for this month's Facebook Live. Today, I am going to talk about whether you can claim a portion of your electricity, gas, internet as you work from home. The rules are different for self-employed businesses and limited companies, so I will try to highlight those differences as much as I can for you today. I do have a blog post written about self-employed expenses on my website, and I will post the link for you in the comments. When you are entering your expenses into your accounts, one of the main things you need to think about is whether they are wholly and exclusively for business use. If it isn't, you may not be able to claim it on your self-assessment, or you can only claim for a portion of it. I will cover self-employed businesses first, as they are fairly straightforward. Many self-employed people run their business from home, which means they are using the electricity, gas, telephone, and internet. HMRC allows self-employed businesses to claim for a portion of these costs. The easiest way to do this is by using the simplified expenses method that HMRC have developed. This is based on the number of hours you work from home each week, and you are then able to claim a set amount for each month. It is only able to be used by those who work more than 25 hours per month from home. The set amount only covers things like gas, electricity, mortgage, and council tax. If you work from home for less than 25 hours per month, you would need to calculate out the proportion of business use for your home. The simplified expenses method doesn't include claiming for phone or internet. HMRC have very strict rules about what you are allowed to claim for these expenses when you work from home. The only way to ensure that you can claim for telephone and internet use 100% is to have a separate phone line, mobile, and internet connection for the business. If you aren't able to do this, you will need to calculate out a reasonable percentage of business use that can be claimed. For the phones, you cannot claim for the rental of the line, just for business-related calls. If you have a limited company and work from home, unless the bills for the electricity, gas, phone, internet are in the company's name, you are not able to claim for the full amounts. However, like the simplified expenses method that self-employed people can use, HMRC has a method that limited companies can use if they work from home. Your employer, the company, can pay you, the employee, £26 per month or £6 per week to cover use of home costs. This amount doesn't have to be authorized in any way, and it applies from April 2020 onwards. You could choose to calculate out a portion of the expenses instead of using the use of home flat rate, but you have to be able to justify any claims you make, and you can only claim for the incremental costs incurred as a result of working from home. That means that any costs that would have happened due to running a home are excluded, as well as any costs that are not wholly and exclusively for the business. So this means you cannot claim for council tax, rent, or mortgage, but you can claim for things like gas, electricity, and metered water. To claim for those expenses, you would need to work out the cost of those expenses according to the number of rooms in your home and the amount of time you spend working in them. In terms of the internet and phone, you can only claim for these if they are in the name of the business. You could also have a formal contract with your company, which would have a rental license between you and your own limited company. It would need to be a commercial agreement and based on your real working arrangements. You would also need to pay market rent, and this is a more complicated route to be able to claim for the expenses, as while the limited company would be able to claim for tax relief for the expenses, you personally would be required to include rental income on your self-assessment. I would not advise going with this option unless you have spoken to an accountant. If you would like further information on how to claim for utilities, phone, and the internet when working from home, feel free to message me or put your questions in the comments. I hope everyone has a wonderful week, and don't forget to join me for my next Facebook Live in January 2021. Wishing you all a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.